Nothing sells a Seed Hawk faster than a Seed Hawk customer. We're proud of our company, but it's producers like you who have the final say. Sit back and hear what these customers say about their Seed Hawk. Dwayne Wolf from Mopella, Saskatchewan recently bought his second Seed Hawk, an 84-foot toolbar with a Model 800 tank with sectional control technology. Dwayne, why did you buy a Seed Hawk?
Well, I guess it's that the answer is fairly simple. In a seeding implement, we're looking for obviously something that's going to precisely place our seed in an accurate placement and have each shank independent. The Seed Hawk fits the bill well.
Daniel Bonkowski from Mopella, Saskatchewan also has a sectional control technology system. Daniel, can you tell us a little bit about your operation?
I farm 10,000 acres with half cereal and half canola. We farm in the Mopella Whitewood area. We're currently seeding canola with the 84-foot Seed Hawk with the 800 tank. We're covering 400 to 500 acres a day. With the drill, we're able to do 100 acres of fill in the canola.
What is it that you like about sectional control technology?
It's the ability to save the acres when you're seeding, to minimize the overlap, lifting up the sections in pie shapes and wedges. It gives us the ability to run an 84-foot drill with sloughy land. We're not straight back and forth, so we need something that we can run the big width so we can do our 10,000 acres with the one air drill.
What do you expect to save on inputs this year?
We're going to save about $50,000 to $80,000 this year with the sectional control. It's working well, saving a lot of acres.
Daryl and Ross Reynolds farm near Nakoma, Saskatchewan, and have had a Seed Hawk on their farm since 1997. Daryl, why did you buy a Seed Hawk?
Well, originally we bought it for the canola. That was our primary reason, because we were struggling to get good establishment on our canola, and we liked the seed depth control and the accurate seed placement. Fertilizer, we switched to a liquid fertilizer at the same time, and certainly getting something that would direct seed to our canola and give us really good seed depth control and good establishment. That was really critical. So that was, we've been using liquid fertilizer since about 92, I think. Yeah. And with all our units, we've had good success. No seed damage, the good separation from the seed and the fertilizer moving into the ground, and the Hawk does that really well with its side placement and a little bit below the seed.
Brent Dunnigan is an engineer and a farmer in the Alameda, Saskatchewan area. He understands the role technology plays on the modern farm. Brent, why did you invest in a Seed Hawk?
The hydraulic technology that the company used give us very precise seeding depths, whether it be a coarse seed or a fine seed.
How would you rate the Seed Hawk tank?
Number one in the industry. We were really impressed with the way they designed it as far as matching up the fertilizer volume and the seed volume. The calibration equipment is second to none. It was well designed, and again, it's great technology for the fine seed and the coarse seed as far as accuracy when you're using the product.
When you looked at your old seeder versus your Seed Hawk, what differences did you see?
Very even seed emergence. We're very happy with the production in the end. And last year was a very abnormal year with the cool temperature. We really didn't know where we're at, but in the end, we believe, on our first year that the production was increased, 19 to 20% throughout the farm.
Dale and Scott Blair farm near Drake, Saskatchewan, and we asked Dale when he first bought a Seed Hawk.
I think the first one we bought was 93 or 94. It was the first one in this area. But I saw that machine a couple of times, probably at the crop show in Regina or something. And I didn't go too close because I didn't want anybody to see me looking at it, because I just couldn't believe that something like that could work, that you could buy a machine with 40 hydraulic. I just had this vision, this thing that all 40 rams would start to leak, and it looked like. But then they had this seeding demo up at Leroy for 2 or 3 years where they got all the different machine companies to come out and bring their machine up. And I went up, and there's people out there riding up and down and digging in the ground. I don't know if I ever got on my truck. I'm not going to dig in the ground. I went back 3 weeks later, because I'm only 20 miles from there. I went back after the crop was up 3 or 4 inches. and went down, and all the plots were there with the names on them. It was just there was so much difference that, well, then I had to go back and look at this damn thing, if it could put the seeds in like that. So then I said to my son, we're not buying one of those things until we go and see the plant where they're making this. I mean, if they're just making this in a barn on a farm and they go broke in 2 years. So we went down, had a look at their operation, and I was pretty impressed. 2 young, honest guys. And I said, how long till you decide to expand and go broke or sell out to John Deere? They said, neither. We're not going to expand. We're only going to expand as fast as we can financially support this company. I was impressed. And we bought one, and we've used one ever since. It's performed, it's worked. We're on our third, I guess it is.
Dale, what sold you on buying a Seed Hawk?
Well, I guess, we all know now, but the uniformity of depth, that you had control on every shank, and that you could set that thing for an inch and never change it. We spend most of our time seeding with a air seeder, behind it on our hands and knees, trying to figure out where the hell the seed was. You wear out a pair of pants every spring. Well, that thing, you know where the seed is. It can't be any shallower and it can't be any deeper. Especially with canola, that's so critical.
Bob Bergen farms near Drake, Saskatchewan. Bob, what impresses you most about a Seed Hawk?
As we found out quite quickly, the Seed Hawk seed placement was the biggest thing, especially doing small seeds like canola. The placement was just perfect every time, and you never missed. It was the uniform depth, and which is so critical when you're seeding canola, which we seed a lot of, and Seed Hawk was the answer.
What did your neighbors think the first year you seeded with the Seed Hawk?
One of the things was kind of interesting when we first started out with the Hawk. They were really foreign to our whole general area, and everybody else was converting from the old cultivator air seeders and so on, and they look at this. Now everybody's saying, oh boy, those are really great crops. The other thing that I found kind of interesting when we first started talking about it, I'd tell guys, well, they were seeding between 5 and 6 pounds of canola, and we're down under 4, 3.5 to 3 3/4 sort of thing. Well, at $7 a pound, if you're doing a couple thousand acres, do the math. You get that thing paid for.
I guess probably laughed a little to start with, because it didn't leave a really good-looking job from the road. And but then I think when the crop, when they saw the even germination, and a lot of people asked a lot of questions. How the hell do you get that? Because every row is the same, and everybody wants the machine that will get that crop up the quickest and the evenest, and we think that this is the one that works for us.
Well, they were quite skeptical, to tell you the truth, and but they did watch us seed the first year, and there's quite a few trips made across our land looking at the job it made, and the second year there's a lot more trips made across our field, and apparently they liked what they saw, because pretty soon there was more Seed Hawks in the countryside, and these days there's a majority of them in our fields.
Paul Churkus from Kamsack, Saskatchewan has been using Seed Hawk's SBR system to seed between the rows of last year's stubble. Here's what he saw early in the spring.
Well, I see that there's good in-row seeding with these Seed Hawk drills. The stubble's still standing, and making a black row in between the 1 foot rows of last year's canola crop, where the seed is being placed, and it's going to get protected when it cools off. Like today, it's already cooling off. This is going to be good protection when that crop comes up.
What do you look for in a seeding system?
One thing that we're looking for when we're buying a seeding tool is an implement that'll seed to the moisture and give us a black strip, so that the sun can warm the black soil up and get quick and even germination. Seed Hawk, as you see here, we get a black strip, and that moisture's right there. We have the seeds just into the moisture, and from that we'd get even emergence, and which pays benefits all through the growing season by timely application of sprays, fungicides, and harvest.
It's nice to have a little black strip, especially in this cold springs that we've been having, and it gives that chance, that gives a little protection to that plant in the seed row, plus it gives a little warm soil, so it gives some protection.
Why did you buy the sectional control technology?
I've always been interested in trying to divide my seeding implement into a smaller division than the whole width of the seeding implement, because our land is potholy and we have a lot of wedges and pie-shaped pieces to seed around. And when I heard that Seed Hawk was coming out with their SCT, I was very interested, just for the fact that if you can save, we feel we can save from 5 to 7, 8% of our acres with that. And so when you overlap, not only are you wasting inputs, but a lot of times when you overlap, that crop lays down and it yields less than what the rest of the field yields.
How much will SCT save you in input costs?
Well, on our farm, our 10,000 acre farm, we feel with conservative numbers that we've kind of crunched, we feel that we'll probably end up saving about $50,000 a year.
Since you've bought a Seed Hawk, have your seeding rates changed?
With the wheat and barley, I still go by that 1,000 kernel weight count. We're right now seeding superb wheat at 3 bushels. But when we get down to canola, we're down to 3.8 a pound for canola.
Well, one thing about a Seed Hawk is that we can cut down on our seeding rates on canola. And when you're paying $6 or $7 a pound for seed, that can make quite a difference. And we've cut our seeding rate by quite a bit. In some cases, 1.5 to 2 pounds an acre reduction. And when you're paying $7 a pound for seed, that makes a lot of money per acre over a farm. That is, over the life of a seeder, that can pay for the whole seeder. And thanks to Seed Hawk, you can do that with their system.
What do you think of the emergence you get with the Seed Hawk?
No, I think that's one of the advantages of the Hawk, is that it comes up evenly. Like, we have rolling, undulating hills and little valleys, lots of slough holes, and uneven ground. And we just see with the Hawk that it comes up so nice and even across the field and over the hills. Usually the moisture's there. Even our driest year was, 02 probably, that we've had lately, and since '88. And even in that year, we were seeding into a band of moisture about 1/4 of an inch thick, but it was just at that 3/4 inch depth, and we never did change our settings. And crop came up nice and even. I would say, I hate to say it, but most of the crops were 2 or 3 different stages in this area, and ours came up nice and even and stayed that way right till maturity. So that one year, it might have paid for itself, our machine.
Well, Seed Hawk just made emergence a breeze that came up even, and it's just what we wanted.
What do you think of the fertilizer placement you get with the Seed Hawk?
With the Seed Hawk system, we like the fertilizer placement being close to the seed, far enough away to prevent burn. But we like the seed close to the fertilizer so it can get at it quickly. I think that's very important, especially when you're seeding early in the year in cold soils. You need those nutrients to get to the plant fast, and that's what we get with the Seed Hawk.
Have your Seed Hawks been a good investment?
Originally, back in the early 90s, when Seed Hawk was building these units, we shied away from buying one because we didn't know whether we would be able to give our used unit away or not, and what value it would be. And in the 20 years or so that they've been manufacturing them, we found that their resale on their used machines are the highest in the industry, and that's for good reason.
It's been a good investment for us. They've held their value. I see them reselling for next new prices. For what we originally paid, they seem to hold their value well.
Well, I think it does. I know when we traded that first one off, the value on the trade-in was, and right now that's really true. Really true. You see a lot of these older other makes air seeders sitting around in auction sales. They're just not worth much money anymore. We're in It's a new world.
Well, we liked our Seed Hawk so much that we decided to trade ours in on another one, and we had absolutely no trouble selling the first one. There was a ready market for it, and if you look at the auction sales these days, they're going for a lot of money.
Here's the perfect machine for constant depth control.